Hello, and welcome back to another FPL video. Today you're going to see how my team is going to set up for game week 3. I'm not doing any transfers yet, but I will do them on the deadline stream that I'm planning to host on Saturday. So if you have any questions, you can just drop them in the comment sections or just come onto the deadline stream and we can discuss them. Before moving into game week 3 lineup, let's see how my game week 2 team did and what I feel should improve into my squad. 89 points, more than good, especially when not using any chip. I'm at top 150k. I'm so close to top 10k to top 100k, so that there is no reason to do anything basically. But I want to be proactive and I don't want to wait to my team to not be up to date. So I will be discussing some transfers in a minute. Henderson in goal, he's pretty awful in my opinion, but he's the goalkeeper that I chose, so I'm going to stay with him at least until game week 6 because yeah, he has some better fixtures coming like Leicester and Everton. So until then, I'm going to see how he's performing. In defense, all of them returned, but that's a pretty common thing in the community right now. Robinson, Porro, and Taina, but Trent, Gabriel, Saliba, they all returned as well. So I feel pretty delighted with the performance from my defense, but I will be making a change there. You'll see it in a minute. Eze, Salah, Smith-Rowe, and Diogo Jota, more than happy with their performance. Eze not returning any points currently, but I believe that he's going to do so. As showcased, he has some easier fixtures offensively, Leicester and Everton specifically, but Chelsea and United are not solid in defense either. Smith-Rowe, quite amazing. The only thing he did for the whole game was to score the goal, and he got the 3 bonus, which I'm more than delighted to continue. Owning Salah, amazing. Jota, amazing. Everything is good there. In attack, Havertz, Isaac, and Haaland. Isaac has blanked for the first time this season, but the previous return was only an assist. Now he faces Spurs. Let's see how he performs. But after that, it's 2 away fixtures, but it's against Wolves, who conceded 6 goals already. Newcastle are not performing up to par, but I feel like after the international break, they can cause some damage to a lot of teams. So for now, I'm not going to do anything about Isaac, and I'm just going to wait and see how he's performing. A lot of managers are transferring him out. I understand why. Joao Pedro, Welbeck, they're all doing amazingly well, and yeah, Isaac is just blanking. Havertz, I'm going to wait and see. I'm most probably keeping him up until game week 6 as he then is going to become a very viable option. So I'm going to keep him as my Arsenal asset for game weeks 4 and 5. And then if he manages to score, I will reap the rewards because a lot of players are going away from Arsenal players. And then they are going to transfer them back in, while I'm just going to hold Havertz and I'm going to wait and see what happens, as they do not sign a striker yet and I don't see it happening. So yeah, I believe Havertz is going to be central. Merino signed for midfield, but that is not causing any problems for Havertz minutes right now. And I believe against Leicester and Southampton is going to be a very viable option to own if he's not injured. Now, let's see. I set 100, top 150k, 15k. That's amazing for a start. Last season I was 1.8 million after game week 2, and then I dropped down to 3 point something in game week 3. So yeah, it looks like okay. Let's see how game week 3 performs, because this is going to be the hardest week for my team. I'm going to showcase it in a minute, but now let's see some press conferences that happened. As you can see, 7 managers spoke. On tomorrow's stream and video, we are going to discuss the other managers and what is going to be the problems for their teams. So Verburgen, Ferguson, and Stupinian are all returned. So they had a Carabao Cup fixture and they came back. So Ferguson is back, which is not good for Welbeck and Pedro, as Ruter is there at the moment as well. We need to see what happens. Verburgen came back, so still, is he gone? Is he not? We need to see. And Stupinian, is he playing? Is Kadioglu starting? Is Hinzewood continuing? Brighton are just one big wait and see for me. I feel like it's a lot of issues coming from their side, but yeah, I'm going to wait and see there. Yeah, we don't know who the number 1 is yet. Matt O'Reilly, the new transfer from Celtic, got an awful injury during midweek and he's going to miss a lengthy period. Fergie can play in midfield. If he plays in midfield as a 4.5 defender, he might be a good option. But as I said, wait and see for those Brighton assets. Gruda and Wilfer were absent. Again, Gruda hasn't featured though. He was already carrying a small injury. And he's 50-50 to start Weaver. So yeah, a little bit hesitant there. For Brentford, Hickey is expected to miss the whole season. That's a very bad thing for their defense because Hickey was doing amazingly well before the injury, but now suffering a setback, and now he's under surgery again. So yeah, that's poor. Igor, Thiago, and the Silva remain out too. Henry is closing a return. Ivan Toney is omitted for the squad and won't feature again because there are speculations. If he is not gone, he will be playing from game week 4 onwards. Marcus Silva confirmed that there were no changes. Okay. A lot of names are name checked, so we need to see. He has to adapt to the way we press, the way we prepare ourselves, because that position demands really hard work from ourselves. Andreas was a crucial player. Emil has to adapt for that role, but by the looks, he's adapting relatively well. Brentwaite and Patterson still out, but Coleman and Garner are back, and Ashley Young is back from injury, so Everton might seem a little bit more solid, but let's not go there yet. And Tarkovsky is fine. Okay, Forest, update on the new injury. He's going to be out. First of all, is that he takes his time, that he blah 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 blah. So nothing yet. So Yates is an injury, but let's see. A9 and Moreno, we'll see how the rotation is going to happen there. For West Ham, Aaron Cresswell looks to for a spell out. That's bad for the left back. Whoever owns him, you have to sell him. That's it. And for Leicester City, no changes in the squad. Cody returned on Tuesday, and Daka and Stuart Zik remain sidelined. So nothing too major for the FPL world. Maybe apart from Ivan Toney and some players coming back for Brighton, but still a relatively solid lineups for everyone. Now this is my team. Let's go to the big team and see how it looks at the moment. Henderson against going Chelsea, not the best fixture, but we'll have to manage. Ipswich and Leicester for Pau Torres and Robinson. It's away from home, but I'm expecting at least one clean sheet between them and Pedro Porro. I don't feel pretty confident with Porro, and we're going to discuss him in a moment. Eze, Salah, Smith Rowe, and Jota. All away fixtures once again, so that's a little bit worrying, but let's see how the players are going to perform. Home fixtures are quite better, but we cannot always own home fixture players. And Havertz and Isaac remain at home, so that's going to be their spot to just shine. And Haaland away from home, I don't feel pretty pressured about that, because after that is 2 home fixtures, like that's relatively good. Eina and Sangare are going to make my bench. Eina, I know that he has been playing, but Wolves have been scoring goals, and they've performed pretty well against Arsenal as well. And against Forest, I expect them to score again. Maybe Eina is going to be rotated with Moreno, I don't know, but currently I'm not too overly excited to play Eina in the next week. And after that, 4 and 5 are away. Maybe if he's still playing around here, he will be an option, but yeah, I think he made the return that I wanted, and now he's going to be my bench option. That's a little bit questionable to say, but I'm not benching a 5.5 player for Eina for game week 3. Then for game week 4, I wouldn't have a player as they face Arsenal and they face Liverpool. So yeah, I'm a little bit hesitant what to do, so I'm going to go and discuss the options with you. So if we go to the transfers, as you can see, I'm not owning an Aston Villa attacker, which is a little bit worrying, and the guy that is going to leave is Diogo Jota. That transfer is 99.9% happening, unless we see that, for example, Salah is out or something like that. But for now, Diogo Jota is the guy that's going to make waves, and it's going to be for Rodgers. 4 points yet, 12.5% ownership already has risen in price, but still I'm more than happy to bring him in. I know the numbers are not exciting, 0.5 expected goals, but first game, let's say it's against West Ham, they did not do amazingly well, and then against Arsenal, I don't know how he got only that low of a number for expected assists when he gave the ball to Watkins basically on an empty net. So that was a pretty high expected assist, but yeah, let's not count that there are some mistakes. I don't want to introduce Watkins yet, and I am pretty confident in my forward lineup currently. I know that this is Isaac is not performing, but still I am quite relatively happy with it. So let's see how he performs, and if everyone sells him, even better, because he's going to become an option nonetheless. But Jota, even though he has returned in 2 games in a row, he didn't get any bonus in both of them. That's a little bit worrying. He played less minutes now with Chiesa back in, going into the squad. Maybe some rotations are going to happen internally. Maybe Salah is going to become a less of a popular option now with Chiesa basically operating as a cam or a right wing. We need to see, but I'm not willing to take the risk with Diogo Jota. So Rodgers is going to come in, and as I was saying, for 2 weeks there was only one player that I felt pretty sad not owning throughout the summer, and I was afraid not owning during first and second game week, and that player is none other than Alexander Arnold. He got the same points as Jota for 0.5 less, but he could have gotten way more, like 1.7. Imagine having 1.0 expected assists when they do not calculate it right, and then having this number. I feel like he's pretty important. I know that he played less minutes as well, but I believe that due to being at Anfield, him not being up to full speed, but against United, I don't see him being rotated. Honestly, then 2 home fixtures happen, then it's Wolves and Palace. Like, it's a pretty clean run for Trent. Going forward, those teams can concede a lot of goals, and Trent is going to be involved. But the issue is that I have 2.4 in the budget. I cannot transfer out Aina. It's not enough. Robinson has not risen in price yet, not enough. So the only player that I have to transfer out is Pedro Porro, which is not that bad in my opinion, because Pedro Porro was going to be a bench option in game week 4. Then in 5 he can concede against Southampton, against Brentford, as we've seen last season. United, Brighton. That's not a too popular fixture run. I got him for the 2 returns. I'm more than happy, and now I believe it's time to go. I know that most probably I'm the only player in the world that is taking out Jota and Porro together, as they are performing still, and they are 2 of my players that have been performing compared to Eze, Henderson, Isaac, who has not returned a lot of points. But still, I feel quite confident that I need those players, and I need to keep my penalty takers. Eze has dropped in price over the night, which is a little bit worrying. They just don't watch. Maybe they just see 0 points and they take him out, which is not my playstyle. But still, I quite enjoy owning Eze, and I'll continue doing so. I'm not selling him until game week 6 passes realistically. Like, why the hell should I sell him until we have a better fixture, a worse fixture, and it's not that worse offensively, to be fair, apart from Liverpool. Up until Man City and Arsenal, until game week 15, those teams are not too solid in defense. Like, okay, I get Liverpool, but Spurs, Wolves, Fulham, Villa, Newcastle, they are not that amazing defensively currently. So in hindsight, I can keep Eze, as he will be performing quite well. Penalties, talismanic players, and powers are going to get better. If he's not performing, he's just going to go out. I'll give him just a lengthy period of time. I don't want to judge for 2 weeks. But yeah, Jota and Porro will most probably be out. I need to monitor if some injuries are going to be reported, and the lineup is going to be changed to Rodgers and Arnold instead of Jota and Porro. Eno and Sangare will remain on my bench, and I honestly plan to roll several transfers if I don't have some injury issues. Even if I have, I'm going to plan accordingly how to address them, because yeah, let's see how the international break goes. But yeah, I'm going to go blind with only one transfer. That's not that bad of a thing in my opinion. Like, Injuries can happen, but most of my players are not international players. Like, okay, Henderson went to England side, but Pau Torres, I don't think he's called to Spain. Aina is not called, so he's going to be okay. I don't know Robinson for the States, but most probably he's not. Rogers is not. Smith Rowe is not. Yeah, the rest are international players, but I have some players that are playing, and the others are way too expensive to not have options to replace them. So yeah, I'll be good, and I'll have 0.9 in the budget just to cover everything. So I feel pretty confident. I don't know what about you, but yeah, I feel alright. And then I will plan accordingly for the change of fixtures for Arsenal players, as I would like 3 players from Arsenal. We'll see how we'll adapt and what will change, but for now I'm going to stick with that. Come tomorrow for the deadline stream. We're going to discuss a lot of things. Thank you for watching, but for now guys, I'll be heading out. Bye.